This is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys, quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. Today, we're going to deal with taking on projects so big that you don't even know what you don't know. It might be a career change or a product launch or building a new app or establishing a social life or, well, in my case, it's building a building. As you may know, I attended Burning Man this year. It's a temporary city in the desert that exists for 1 week each year, and it's literally the size of a city, and it's built by artists and engineers and mad scientists as a giant experiment in intentional community. One day, of course, while riding a bicycle out in the deep desert, inspiration struck. In 1993, the video game Myst came out, and when it was released, it was immersive, it was beautiful, it was groundbreaking, and from the music to the storyline, it held intrigue. In fact, I recently replayed it, and it holds up quite well. Myst takes place on an island, and between solving puzzles, you often return to a beautiful octagonal library in the middle of the island. The library has these things called linking books, which are magical books that transition you between different ages of the Myst universe. My dream is to recreate that library at Burning Man out in the desert. There's only one problem. I don't build stuff. I don't design. I don't use a hammer. I don't paint. I've never transported a structure to an event in the desert. In short, I have nothing but passion, a vision, and a few get-it-done skills here and there. Not only that, but the scope of this project is so gigantic that, frankly, it's paralyzing. There are blueprints to be made, structures to be built, and depending on the cost, probably money to be raised, grants to be applied for, and none of this is known in advance. I announced my desire to do this several weeks ago, and I haven't done any work since, not from a lack of desire, but because frankly the audacity of the project is huge, my knowledge is small, I want to get it right. I want to get it 100% totally right. And therein lies the problem. If you have some notion of what the ideal project would be, it can be so overwhelmingly paralyzing that frankly it becomes impossible to start. But don't do nothing. You've got a vision. Now make a high-level plan and another. And a third. Make 3 plans, and then decide your next steps. So consider the Myst library. If you were going to make it come true, how would you do it? Make a cheap plan. First, make a cheap plan. You've got a vision, and pretend you don't have any money, because most of us don't. And in order to get some, you'll have to sell your loved ones on the black market, so you really, really, really want to spend as little as possible. Pretend you're broke. What would your plan be? Well, wood would be expensive to machine, construct, and transport. So you could instead build a metal frame for the building, and instead of solid walls, you could have a layer of maybe painted white fabric for the exterior walls. And then you could hang fabric on the interior painted to look like the interior room. Indeed, you have a theater set designer friend who probably knows how to do all this. Or even cheaper, you might even just make all of the walls out of white fabric, stretched to be taut, and then you cunningly mount projectors to project the outside walls on the outside and the inside walls on the inside fabric. You save all the painting costs by using Photoshop-created textures and images created entirely on your cell phone. The cheap plan is frame plus painted scrim plus lights. Make a fast plan. Once you've made your cheap plan, now make a fast plan. If cost were no object and you had to move fast, what would you do? Well, for the Myst library, you could look through past Burning Man art projects that involved creating house-like structures. In fact, you don't have to look far. This past year, artist Rebecca Waits created a sculpture of a house called Singularity. You would offer her $1 gazillion to buy the house. You'd hire your friend the set designer to paint the inside so that it looks like the Myst library, and you would purchase $15,000 fully functional Myst linking books from Mike Ando, the Myst fanatic extraordinaire, which come complete with alternative dimensions to travel to. You'd also hire a construction crew to reassemble the whole thing at Burning Man, and you could probably pull it all together in just a few weeks. The fast plan is purchase the pieces, customize, and transport with professionals. Third, make a perfect plan. This is the plan that's been in the back of your mind the whole time, the one that's been paralyzing you. It's the plan where everything is done right, whatever that means. In your perfect plan, you assemble a team of experienced volunteers. Together, you custom build a wooden replica of the Myst library, the bookshelves, the molding, the table stands, everything is custom machined. You design puzzles and you make your very own interactive linking books. This is a real-life, living, breathing replica of the Myst library. And it also probably costs about $150,000 and requires a team of 50 people to pull it off. Now that you have 3 different plans, however, You can make a merged plan because you have a range of options. You can strategize combinations of the 3 plans. You can figure out what to investigate, what questions to ask, and possible next steps that don't yet commit to any of the 3 plans. You might decide to contact Rebecca Waits to find out if she would be willing to share what it takes to bring a house to the playa. You'll contact your set designer friend to understand what can be done to create the library out of illusion and thought rather than real mahogany, because mahogany is expensive. And you'll be able to take the next steps without being overwhelmed by the magnitude of it all. And by you, of course, I guess I mean me. But you can use these techniques too. Next time you're paralyzed by a huge project, stop. Step back. Make 3 high-level plans: the cheap plan, the fast plan, and the perfect plan. Then create a merged plan. It's a plan for how you can proceed in some fashion. Sometimes your new plan will be a new plan to finish the project. Other times it'll be a plan for research you can do to choose your next steps. Either way, you'll get moving. And if you don't have a magical linking book to transport you between ages, getting moving is the next best thing. I'm Steve Robbins. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook, and if you have projects that are stalled or taking too long, check out my Get It Done Group's accountability groups. Learn more at steverrobbins.com or join my personal mailing list by texting Get It Done to 33444. Work less, do more, and have a great life.
This episode is brought to you by Macmillan, our publisher. This year, Macmillan turned 175 years old. And to celebrate, we brought together Macmillan employees to share their favorite stories of working here. From publishing best-selling books.
And I just remember seeing them across the concourse. And I started running up to them. I'm like, you're number one, you're number one. And we all started jumping up and down.
To making a difference in the world.
Of all the books that I've worked on, I feel like this book, more than any other, has changed people's lives. And that's an incredible opportunity.
To the impact working here has on our own lives.
You know, being at Macmillan was kind of a big part of our story to begin with.
We officially listed our location on the marriage certificate as the Flatiron Building, and we couldn't find any others that matched in the records. So
we're just going to go ahead and say that we're the first to actually get married in the Flatiron Building.
Macmillan, bringing authors and readers together since 1843. For more stories of our long-standing history in the publishing business, follow us on social at Macmillan USA. That's MacMillan USA.